Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Robert Sports Show. I'm your host, Robert. All right, UFL Week 9 is tonight. Whew. Goodness, this season's gone on. Week 9, next week's Week 10, then we start the playoffs, then the CFL starts. All right, Week 8, not great. 1-3 in straight-up picks, 1-3 against the spread, 2-2 on the over-under, 4-8, which brings the overall down to under 500. 17-15 on straight-up picks, 13-19 against the spread, and 14-14 on the over-under, for a 44-48 on the season. Whew, it's been a little rough. Apparently they don't play based on what I think they're going to do. All right, so the first game tonight is probably the best matchup of the weekend. The 5-3 DC Defenders taking on the 6-2 Orlando Storm. DC will be without Pro Bowl quarterback Jordan Ta'amu. He's out for the rest of the season. They're going to have to get through that, and obviously have a big piece in their offense. They have the number one. They've scored the most points average this season, 29.9. They don't have their starter quarterback. First in offensive yards at 314.9. They don't have their star quarterback. And then on the road they're 2-2 versus 3-1 at home. But they are playing the Orlando Storm, who have already clinched the playoff berth. Now it's kind of like, does Orlando take it easy, or since they've already clinched, or do they want to keep the momentum and try to separate themselves from the rest of the league? They also play DC next week as well. They are first in defense at 18 points game. They are sixth in yards though at 309.5. Third in offense at 298.4. They're only 2-2 at home, so they need to work on that. They're 4-0 on the road. So yeah, they're a better road team than home team, which ironically DC is a better home team than a road team. Next week we flip this. We're in DC. So is this a chance for Orlando to kind of get that gap on the field, get a chance to kind of get the score up a little bit, kind of take it easy, and then kind of next week play that kind of time management with the team? Orlando is favored by 2.5 at home. I got Orlando winning, covering, and over on the 46.5. Based on what these offenses have done, based on what Orlando has done. Actually, you know what? Okay, I'm going under on that one. 46.5 is a pretty decent number. Without Jordan Ta'amu, number one defense in points with Orlando. I think they're going to keep him down. So Orlando winning, covering the 2.5, and then under on the 46.5. All right, the 4-4 Birmingham Stallions taking on the 2-6 Columbus Aviators. 6th and 7th in points this year. That's what they've scored. Second in defensive yards with Columbus, but they're only 2-6. 7th in giving up off defensive yards, but they're 4-4. The Birmingham Stallions. The Aviators, they're only 2 wins, both came at home. The Birmingham Stallions are 500 on the road, 500 at home. Last week, Birmingham won 14-3. I think it's going to be kind of a close game as well. I got Birmingham winning, covering the 1.5, and taking under on the 43.5. Next up, we have the 3-5 Dallas Renegades taking on the 4-4 Louisville Kings. Both teams, okay. What's so funny about these two teams is Louisville, 8th in offensive yards, 8th in defensive yards. So they've given up the most defensive yards. They've scored the least amount of offensive yards. They beat Dallas in Week 5, 47-25. But Dallas is 3rd in points scored. They are 2nd in offensive yards and 4th in defensive yards given up. So they are a better football team with a worse record, and they lost to Louisville big time in Week 5. Now on the road, though, Dallas is 0-3, while at home, Louisville is 1-3. Make it make sense. A lot of these teams are better on the road than they are at home, which typically it's the other way around. I think that's what's kind of screwing up with the stats this year, because I'm used to the home team being kind of typically the better team and teams being better at home than on the road. Based on that Week 5, I am picking Louisville to win, cover the 1.5, and then the over-under is 46.5. The fact that they went over by themselves in Week 5, I still think it's going to be over 46.5, but probably won't be to the level of Week 5. And then the nightcap on Sunday night is the 5-3 St. Louis BattleHawks versus the 3-5 Houston Gamblers. Houston, 7th in points scored, 7th in points given up, 6th in yards on the season, and 5th on yards given up. While the BattleHawks are 5th in points scored, 2nd in defensive points scored, only 20.2. They are 3-1 on the road, which is better than they are at home, 2-2. Week 8, Houston won at 23-16. Now on the road here, St. Louis is favored by 3. Since St. Louis is a better road team than home team, they lost at home to Houston. I got St. Louis winning, covering the 3 and under on the 42.5. So Orlando winning, -2.5, under on the 46.5. Birmingham winning, under on the 1.5. Or sorry, -1.5, under on the 43.5. Louisville winning, -1.5, over on the 46.5. So Louisville over on the 46.5. And then St. Louis winning, -3.5, under on the 43.5. So I'm going under on all of the over-unders except for Dallas and Louisville, and I'm going over. All right, that is UFL Week 9. We're getting close to the final Week 10 next week, and then we'll start the playoffs. 2 weeks of playoffs, and then we'll also have the CFL at that time as well. So just rapid fire here. NASCAR, football, and racing. What else is there? As always, thanks for watching Robert Sports Show. Just have a great day. Have a spiffy day. Robert Sports Show, your YouTube leader in sports content.